Hello, my name is Joma and my presentation today is exploring web application security with OWASP Juice Shop. As the web expands, many companies are trying to leverage the power of it. In order to do that, these companies try to sell cheap low-end machines that connect to the internet like Chromebooks. The issue now is web security. Since everything is exploitable, it's only a matter of when. A rather harmless exploit would be something like unlimited drive storage, where users converted all binary files into base64 and stored it in Google Docs that did not count against the storage quota. So the aim of this presentation will be showcasing some common vulnerabilities and mitigations in a more compact method than the report. The report has much more info than this presentation does. Some common vulnerabilities include cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and data breaches. Cross-site scripting is an exploit where scripts can be run on legitimate websites. This is done by using client-side code that is wrapped in script tags. The browser will interpret it as JavaScript code and proceed to run it. SQL injection is a code injection technique that does what SQL does best, to retrieve modified data. What this means is that a successful SQLI will allow unauthorized users access to some secret information and/or giving them complete control of a system or database. A data breach is when sensitive or private data is released onto the web by accident or through an attack. Data breaches can happen to any company or person that handles user data. It does not matter how big the company is, it is only a matter of when a breach will happen. There have been many breaches ranging from millions to thousands within the past decade. So OWASP Juice Shop, what is it? OWASP Juice Shop is a contained online shop that sells fruit juices built on JavaScript implementations like AngularJS and Node.js. It is completely functional while filled with the worst exploits one can dream of. Why does it exist? Juice Shop started as the personal endeavors of Bjorn Kimmenish. In 2014, Kimmenish's employer needed a more modern training system for web apps, one that relies heavily on JS and newer technologies like WebSockets and OAuth. This is following the trend of current era web apps. Juice Shop gamifies all of the exploits found within it by utilizing an achievement system in hopes of motivating the end user. Experimenting with Juice Shop. This will showcase a reflected XSS, login as admin via SQLI, and social recon. For a reflected XSS, the easiest way is to find a URL that also queries an input. One of the URLs that do that is the tracking page for a user's order, which would be the original URL. Now, instead of asking for an ID tag, a JS payload can be tagged on, yielding the reflected XSS URL. Login as admin via SQLI. The site was scoured for any clues about the admin's email and was found in one of the reviews for a product. Since the password isn't known, we just hope that the SQL database was not set up properly. So using admin at juice-shop, single quote hyphen hyphen, would be our entry point. Single quote hyphen hyphen in SQL closes the previous command and comments out the rest of the query. We can confirm access by reviewing the basket as that shows the user. Social recon. A user named Johnny uploaded a picture onto the photo vault. The EXIF data from the picture shows the GPS coordinates of 36 degrees north, 84 degrees west. This pinpoints to a hiking trail in the Daniel Boone National Forest. When we go change the password for this user, the security question prompted is the hiking area and we know the answer to the prompt, thus allowing us to successfully change the password. Mitigations to these attacks. For a reflected XSS, the best way to counter that is to validate inputs. This means that there should be rules implemented where a query or form should ask and receive as plain text and reject anything else, such as scripts. For SQLI, there are a couple ways. One is to have a prepared statement with parameterized queries. This is done by having all used SQL code be defined as well as what parameters can be passed to the query. The data input is given a limited scope and can't run whatever code it wants. The other way is to escape all user input. This tells the database to not read the input as a command but as a literal input. For social recon, the best way for Juice Shop to mitigate this issue is through two-factor authentication. This way, even if a bad actor knew the password or a security question answer, a one-time code is still needed to continue.